LearnBiz LLC is an entrepreneur coaching agency which customizes solutions to help businesses grow and thrive in an ever-changing economy.
You are listening to LearnBiz, the podcast, where we share an entrepreneur's journey and allow you to obtain insight into their path to success. We're here to educate other entrepreneurs about the ins and outs of running a small business, and we will provide you with tips and resources that can help you along your entrepreneurial journey.
Music selection, Midnight Silhouette by Devon, Wright.
Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Hi, Julius. How are you?
I'm doing great, Lisa. How are you?
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for being our guest on LearnBiz, the podcast. We appreciate you being here.
You're welcome.
I'd like to start with you telling us about you as the entrepreneur. Who are you?
Well, as I've said, my name is Julius Adeyiga. Originally, I am from Nigeria. I lived in Jamaica for many years. Then about 30 years ago, I migrated to United States. So I am married to a Jamaican lady and we have 2 grown-up children.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've been here 30 years in this country?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do your studies in the US?
I did not do my study in the US. When I finished my high school education in Nigeria, I traveled to India, to visit. From there, I entered the university there, and I got my first degree in accounting.
Oh my goodness, very interesting.
Yeah. So after I finished my degree there, I was planning to go to Europe to go and continue my education. Actually, I got admission into Glasgow University, but the cost was so exorbitant that my parents, who were funding my education, couldn't afford it.
What university was that?
Glasgow, in Scotland.
In Scotland, okay.
Mm-hmm. So I couldn't go there because of the high fee. So I ended up in getting admission at the University of the West Indies to do my master's in accounting. So that was how I ended up in Jamaica.
Okay. So that's very interesting. And that's where you met your beautiful wife then.
Exactly.
Lovely, lovely. You've been all around the world. And so how did you decide upon a career in accounting?
Well, when we were in high school, I attended a high school that you either choose a science, okay, or you choose business. So because of my knack for number and how I perform very well in arithmetic and mathematics, I figure I go into the business line. And when I registered for my first degree, I wanted to do the business administration, but I decided to really concentrate on accounting once again because of my interest in numbers.
So
that's why I have both my degree, my first degree and second degree in accounting. So it was when I came to the United States now, I sat for my CPA exam and I've got my CPA license since 1991.
Was it a thought in your mind at the time that, I'm looking forward to working for myself and this would be a good career choice for that as well?
Well, at that time, the mindset was that you get the job, you're working for the big firms, corporation, business, and so on. That was the mindset.
Okay.
But as you grow, as you move forward, your perspectives change in life due to one reason or the other. So I used to work, when I just started, I was working for a small CPA firm. Okay, but the challenge wasn't really there. But at the same time, the workload was just too much to the extent that Um, at that time, my first one was about 4 or 5 years old. And my wife wanted to go back to school to go and do her master's. With the kind of time I put into my employer, I won't have time to look after my son when my wife's at school.
Okay.
So I made that very serious choice whether to leave so that my wife can go to school, whereby I can still look after. I will be available for our son who was 5 years old then. I must tell you, Lisa, it was really, really rough.
Okay.
It was really, really rough. But along the way, we managed. We really managed. So when she finished her study now, she gets a full-time job, and at the same time, somebody with between us have to be flexible. Okay, so she has a full-time job, and I started my own business. As I've said, it was very rough financially, but then there was no regret.
How long did it take you to get to a point? Well, I don't know if you're ever really comfortable in business. I guess if people do finally get there, but how long did you take you to get to a point where you say, I'm feeling good in business out here on my own?
Well, in the first place, when you make that choice to go on your own, you never know what you are facing. But that's a trade-off. You cannot have the time at the same time have the money, but it depends on what you do with your time. Okay, so as I've said, no regret. I felt comfortable after my wife finished her education. Okay, and I'm there for my son, and I was able to arrange my time availability around everything. So to see that to see that we're still able to make both ends meet. But at the point where I say I'm comfortable really is that it gets to a point where I know when to work, when to sleep, and when to do things, particularly when I have that flexibility. That one money cannot buy. I mean, I may not have made a lot of money then, but the fact that I was there for my son to see, to see him, all of it cannot just be tight work. So somebody has to be flexible.
So it sounds like you were struggling to find a very comfortable work-life balance.
Exactly.
And you finally found that.
You are right.
What I'm going to just ask you this. What was the hardest thing as you look back when you jumped out there to start your own business? What was the hardest thing?
Well, the hardest thing was to get clientele base. That's the hardest thing, to get the clientele base, because when you don't get that clientele base, the cash flow is in there, that is just the hardest thing there.
Okay, and that totally makes sense. Yeah. And so, we've been through a pandemic, and so I have to ask this question: what effect did this global pandemic, have on your business that we just, went through?
Well, just like many businesses, mine was not an exception, because I serve mom and pop businesses, okay, non-profit, and other mid-sized company. So whatever affect them, affect my business. It's a chain link. It's a chain reaction. Okay. And some of those mom and pop businesses that are really struggling under normal circumstances were very hard hit because of the pandemic. So if I say my business is not affected, I won't be speaking the truth. It's affected just like many other businesses. But there are a few of my clients that are still holding on, and yet I'm still here.
Awesome. That's very, very awesome. So you reassured your clients that you were still there for them when
exactly
when they were ready. Mm-hmm. And Let me ask you, there are a lot of people who may be looking at this video thinking, I think I might want to get into accounting and get into my own business. What can you give in terms of advice for some people who might be considering getting into business for themselves in the accounting profession?
Well, first of all, they have to do their inventory and make sure that they have a knack for number. They don't just go into it just because they want to go into it. They have to make sure that they have the necessary background. Every business has some discipline to be submitted. You have to make sure that the business you're going to do, you have to be willing to go through the discipline. Now, first of all, you have to make sure that, okay, you look at your inventory. What do you good at? Are you good at math? Or if you're good at, if you're good at that, then accounting may be a better way for you. And secondly, when you get that accounting degree at the bachelor level, okay, in order for you to really be competitive, you really have to take it further by getting the professional certification. That is the key there, because if you stop at the first level or second level, you are just an accountant. Although you can set up your own firm, that is a limitation to what you can do. Okay, so that is why I will suggest that first of all, make sure that you're very good at math. And when you go to first degree, get a first degree in accounting, second degree, and get your licensure, CPA certification. At that time, you will be able to do a lot of things that just ordinary accountant without the license cannot do.
So that CPA certification is very vital to being in business.
It is. It's just a matter. The way I handle my client is when I meet a client, we go through the education part of it. I say, okay, what is your business? What business are you getting into? We go through the education, because some people, they just go start a business. They don't have a clue as to what kind of business entity, whether it's sole proprietor, partnership, COS, they don't have a clue. And when they go through that, they don't even know what to expect, because listen, in every business venture, we cannot wait until we know everything before we get into it.
That's true.
And along the way, we cannot do it all only by ourselves. We really have to ask people and get some connection. But the advent of a technology, people have that misconception that once I buy this book or whatever, I can do anything I want to do. No, it's not so.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me, because it's a computer. It's what you get in, you put out. And I would also recommend to them that get certain peoples, the lawyer, the accountant in your business right from the scratch to avoid potential downfall down the road. It's very important. It's a matter of education, because when you educate a client, it minimizes the problem down the road.
Makes sense, that's Julius. My approach. It makes so much sense. And that's why I know for a fact that we're going to rely on you to come back here to help and, educate businesses, because if they're educated, then it makes your job easier as an accountant when they come to see you, that maybe they're more organized in their affairs, and it's better for everybody. So we look forward to calling up on you again in the near future for some other speaking opportunities.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate your invitation.
And I appreciate you sharing your information today, and you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Same to you. Bye.
Music selection, Midnight Silhouette by Devon, Wright.
Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.